I got loot. This is from Grateful Fred. I got this. Because standing turtles don't run. That looks really cool with the light. That looks hella dope. It's adhesive. I gotta figure out where on my vehicle I'm gonna put on it. Where I'm gonna put it. It says, it comes with a little card, little thank you. That has a little card and it says, oh, I thought it was more about the company. It just tells you where you can put it. Here's a partial list of flat surfaces where our badges can be applied. Cars, boats, laptops, phones, phone cases, coolers, auto glass. Oh, auto glass. Okay, so I can put it on a window. Mirrors. Stereo speakers, Bluetooth, blah blah blah. So, hard things. Discover more at gratefulfred.com. I was just going down memory lane this morning. And I recall the time back in 1990. I wonder if that's what his makeup for frickin' his assault was. My brother had taken me to, long before they had Comic-Cons and all that stuff, the con was on at Comic-Con. Just taking people away from doing good is just like a psyop, I think. It's like a psychological... If you could just keep people from doing good in the masses, then... well, that's just a whole lot of good that ain't getting done. So... my brother took me, he was in a fraternity, he went to college, he was in a fraternity, so they were all apprised of all the events that were happening, and there's colleges all over Sacramento. He went to Sac State. So I took a bus down one time, and he took me to the very first, I think they're still going on, the very first festival of animation. And that is where they had just like a whole bunch of collective shorts long before TikTok and Reels. There were people, that's where they had, like, they showed the first Wallace and Gromit. What's up? What's up? What's up? I said, what's up? Pick 'em up. I'm just talking about the first festival of animation. And it started big pop culture time sucks like Beavis and Butthead. And the Toy Story started there. Well, it's your birth to Earth Day. So let's see. This is what I like. This is what I like to figure out about people. So now, what day it is it? It's the 1st of the year. So 9 months ago, because we don't just have our birthday, we have our conception date, like our personality based on when our parents. That's how I look at it. And so, like, what was it? Because we got so many Virgos because of New Year's Eve. But less people are procreating now. They're not. They're creating in other ways. They're leaving a legacy of peace on Earth rather than creating more tyrants. Because we got plenty of those. The dictator. That's what I call them. Oh, you're one of them. And then they get all fluffy. Oh yeah, what? One of them what? One of them dictators. And then you laugh. Because they're still going to come down hard. See, they've been coming down hard on me my whole life. And I'm not going to, my brother almost dislocated my shoulder. Say, uncle, no, I'm not gonna. Now they're doing more bullshit. over there, someplace over there. Oh, we gotta drop bombs over there so at home we can get erections because the Viagra just ain't doing it for them anymore. That's why they have words. The industrial military complex. Thou shalt not kill. That's like the land of, that's the law of all lands in this life and in the afterlife too. You don't kill things. And I am guilty. I've been bit by spiders and I don't know all my spiders. So if I see a spider in my house, I don't misplace them because there's animals everywhere. And I've been bit by nasty spiders, that the flesh-eating kind. That was not my experience because I had a dry bite, so it didn't go down. But I've seen people where you got to draw a mark around the bite to make sure it's gonna get smaller and big. Like, dude, nature is brutal. Animals are the most dangerous people on this earth, especially the spoiled, rotten ones that have never had to skip a meal. The ones that promote McDonald's, that are real sad that McDonald's is missing out. See, because I don't care about money. Money isn't my motivator in my life. I take care of my mom. She's right over there sleeping. She'll be waking up soon. That's why I do these talks early. I'm a little more fresh in the morning than after taking care of things all day. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I mean to turn off the dehumidifier. The humidifier, not dehumidifier. So, they're starting the narrative bullshit. I've been already posting all over the internet how sorry I am for my service. And that DC is an extension of Hollywood, and Uncle Sam's a big old fat liar. I know this because remember how I was talking about how I went to the first festival of animation with my brother? That same brother, like, almost killed me after he got out of basic training. Because they target the men, everything is astrology. And they target people for their inferiority complexes. And then they put them in positions of power. And now what we see collectively across the world and what is going to transpire in the next year is just more evidence of what happens when you give people that can't control themselves, they have no self-will, and you give them the power to do whatever they want. And that's what we see in Biff every day. He's a businessman. Nothing that is ever personal with businessmen, so they don't care when people die. They don't care. Now, if you put them right there and made them watch, then it would be different. You know? And just based on the movie alone, Defending Your Life, Biff is going to have a hell of a reel. Hanging out, being BFFs with Epstein and all that stuff. Like, it's just, like, these people are in constant, I've known them my whole life. I went to AA for 14 years. Like, people cannot see how they are wrong in life. They can't see the mistakes that they made. And I blatantly see every single one of them as it's happening. But I also see outcomes of how, potentialities of how things can turn out. So sometimes I got to take one for the team. Because Mom's my team, and I keep finding more little tidbits about Mom. That was like my truth revealed this time around. I'm a little skeptical of those because I found out one, like back in 2017 when I first started these talks, I literally found out I was a bastard after thinking I came from parents that loved each other. That's hilarious. So I've been going through stuff. I'm trying to downsize and pack things away nicely so when we make our last move, I'll be ready. And so so Mom has a brilliant mind. She just lost its elasticity. It's ability to hold and retain data. like a battery loses its ability to hold a charge. That's why people get dementia and stuff like that. So I get to think for all of us. Well, she has this life that, full of people that I don't even know. And I found numbers and I called. They had like, it has my number on it, it has my brother's number on an index card, and then it has like 4 people. I have no idea who these people were. So obviously, the curious being that I am, I called them up and called them, and one lady called me back, and I introduced myself and I said who I was, and my mom is Lori, and see, because some people knew her as Lori and some people knew her as Loretta. And the lady was friends. Mom was friends with the ladies. They were all friends. Like, she sent me pictures of Mom before Mom moved to live with me in Anderson. I think it was pretty close right before she moved. I think it's before Mom even had Sassy, because if Mom had Sassy, Sassy would have been on Mom's lap. This is Mom. Mom's such a pretty lady. That's why I learned at a very young age, like, how terrible beings can be, because they were so terrible to her. Men did terrible, terrible, terrible things to her. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And she was so small, so, big, it doesn't matter. It's just a vibrational frequency of people that are willing to hurt people between people that aren't, and that's pretty much what it is. She's so happy. She was so happy. She was such a happy woman, and she still smiles. She still smiles, so that's cool. That's hella dope. Yep, she bought that house. They told her she'd never have anything, and then her house payment was like $700, and her income was 9. So how they allowed that? There's all these rules, regulations, policies, and procedures. And I decided a long time ago that the deck is stacked in favor of putting in people in harm's way, so that they can create systems so that the employees within the system can get a steady paycheck. All the way from the military all the way down to the local DMV. It's all to put it puts a lot of people in a bind, because most people don't care. Most regular people, they don't care about stuff that's on the internet. I have to make myself care to stay engaged. Because I could just not be a part of planet Earth. It's not a problem for me to not participate in life, as it expects me to participate with it. And it really did my heart good. I had a nice little cry this morning already. With all the stuff that's going on over there. It's always stuff over there, while people in America fall through the cracks of society. More and more people are getting homeless every single day. Some people are finding housing. I am seeing that too, that people that have been unhoused are finding. It's hard out there, dude. Trying to freaking stay warm when it's negative 25. When you have a job. Like, just trying to survive to see the next sunrise is what a lot of people are trying to do. There's so much desperation. And now we're going to see what happens when people get desperate. I came across this back in 2017, 2018. Hey, what's up, Miss J? Same to ya. And, I was showing, I don't know if you saw a picture of Mom. This was before Mom's been living with me. We've been roommates since 2007, so this is before then. I found some people that used to know her. He died. He's passed away. And I was just talking about how happy she is. She was, She's such a happy lady. And she still laughs. She still has that twinkle in her eye. She always talks about the twinkle in my eye, but what she's talking about is she sees my eyes in her. She also sees my dad, and my dad was a very good looking man. So she's always telling me how good looking I am. Or how pretty I am. I just, thank you, Mom. Thank you. Just thank you. That's all you gotta say. I learned that in AA. All you gotta say is thank you. Somebody gives you a compliment, you don't gotta say nothing else but thank you. So, anyway. And then when I look up, it's funny, this is how I look at the world. When I look up the Festival of Animation, I think about, okay, so I went to the first one, and it was so fun. And it was at the Crest Theater in Sacramento, California. That place is still around. They used to have like a lot of rock shows and stuff like that. So I'd keep track, even on my world, when traveling around, living hither, thither, and yon. I'd always like kind of check in. I just look it up today. They're still doing Festival of Animation there. Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation. Oh, of course it's on 9/11. Of course it is. They're doing it 9/11. Jesus, they're doing it on baby Jesus' birthday. February 20th, 1990. Film review. Spike and Mike's Festival of Animation. Published February 20th, 1990. By Desert News, Chris Hicks, movie critics. It's easy to see why the 17 shorts in the latest edition of Mike and Spike's 1990 Festival of Animation are easily among the most creative, fanciful, and thoughtful pieces of film shown in any screen anywhere. There are a couple of clunkers in the bunch this time, but even those are not without interest. And since the average length is from 3 to 5 minutes, even the weakest links are not unendurable. As usual, there are some you may have seen before if you've attended these shows regularly. Bill Plimpton's hilarious 25 Ways to Quit Smoking, the delightful Pixar computer name Knick Knack, and the fascinating Canadian life cycle Trist's In and Out. There's also a funny short that you may have seen in longer form TV, Family Dog. I remember that one. And an abbreviated version of an episode of Steven Spielberg's Old Amazing Stories anthology series. It's all a club. Tim Burton, director of Batman and Beetlejuice, is one of the animators, and Danny Elfman did the music. If the new... See, all these people have just, like, been partying and playing and screwing around this whole time, and I'm trying to freaking keep Mom alive, and I've been passing people on my path that have a loved one that is some sort of medical condition, and it's just like, you know, like, how am I supposed to go out and work to pay for what everyone else wants me to pay to live, when all I want to do is make Mom comfortable enough to live? And it's been a quandary I've had to deal with my whole life. Thank God, good orderly direction, that as long as I keep doing the right thing, that it makes possible for right things happen for me to take care of Mom. Of the new entries, the drawing cards of the Hill Farm, an English piece, is by far the longest bunch of the 18 minutes, which is nominated for Oscars, the best short form. It allows the family, blah, blah, blah. Okay, The Housekeeper, The Chore, Black Hula. Impressionistic bits are provided by Black Hula. Look at Civilizing the World and Other Worlds by Marv Newland, famed for his Bambi Meets Godzilla. See, I remember Bambi Meets Godzilla. See, I grew up Gen X. They're just making in real life, like, the atrocities that they made us look at on the screen on, like, that short Bambi Meets Godzilla. I think they played it in the beginning right before the Twilight Zone movie. There's something on the wing. I think it's that. But it's still, like, between Bambi, like, you know, life is brutal. And then the part of it is they create make-believe to get you to believe in a narrative, because that's what Washington, D.C. and Hollywood both of those, whole entire entities exist to plant seeds in people's psyches. So it's like, oh, if that would really happen, that would be scary as fuck. And then they go home and they have dreams about it. And then the way I know what I've come to be true is that we create the reality externally based on our dreamscape, our subconscious, our fear, the things that our mind and body are engaging in that our thought processes aren't. And I'm here to explain all of these things in ways and terms to make it simple for all people to understand, not just the highly educated at the Jesuit universities, because I work there and they're dumb. The priesters stink just as bad as the fucking 17-year-old boys in the locker room. Like, they're the same. They're all doing the same stuff, you know? Slapping people, sword fights, you know, they're all gay. And then they freaking commend me because I like women, but they're commending me because I'm their competition, because they're all worried about me taking their lady away from them, because I don't know, people weird. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's not my problem. I have an imagination. Mom taught me when I was a little girl that what other people think about me is none of my business. It's none of my, it does, if people like you, that's great. That's nice. If people don't like you, that's great. That's nice. That I should hold and carry that attitude with me in every engagement. As long as I'm good to people. The thing of it is, I'm ornery. And I'm cantankerous. And I could be pretty salty. I try not to. Mostly I'm a peaceful being, but ain't nothing is 100%. And see, they send people like me over there that have had shitty upbringings and terrible, horrific childhoods. And then, like, you know, stuff happens to mom, and then I step up and say, okay, I gotta make sure mom's okay. And there's not a whole lot of choices on how a neurodivergent, you know, girl in the 1990s, early 90s, barely graduated from high school, has a lot of options to do that. And then my brother went in the guard, but he went in the skater way. He went in the guard, like weekend, like cheater shit. He was always smart. And I always learned from my mistakes. I learned, because we played chess, and I would just go, blah, you know, on the attack, you know, because I'm Aries and he's Virgo. And he would sit and read chess books for days and days on end just so he could remember all the moves, because there's only so many old moves that you can do in life. You can go this way or that way. And he was a computer programmer for California. Now he's a lawyer. So I mean, he learned how to stack the deck. And when I went in the military to go, because I was like, okay, the only thing I can do is go to college, because I was a part of the program. Go to college, get a degree so you can get a good job. Like, that's what my life was to be. And then I went to college for things like, well, what's always going to be around, even if, like, there's, like, poles flipped and there's catastrophic events, and they, you know, they're always going to have communications. Some sort of communications where groups of people over here want to communicate with groups of people over there so they can determine what the world is. And then so you can gather, you know. But then they created Hollywood, and then they made movies and shows like The Rockford Files and Bridge Over River Kwai, where the seeds were planted to kill, and go over there, and if you want it, you can take it, it's yours. But if you do it here, you go to jail? They program people like me to go over, you know, see all the stuff that goes into killing. Oh, man, I grew up single mom. We didn't have food to eat. And all the people that told me not to be selfish because they're soldiers fighting war, it's like they didn't have to. We never have any reason to protect any land but the United States of these Americas, divided. because that's what they are. Not indivisible. It is divisible. It is dividable. It is divided. America is changing the things that I've been talking about it for years, and to see this before he's gonna, just take and just like, it's ours, it's America's. We call dibs. It's us. It's ours. We say so because it's because the guy ain't never he's just he's a contrarian like me. So I see all the things that I don't like in myself in him, and I just have to bless and release and just know that it's all but and all these people, they're legitimately trying to see how much stupid bullshit they can do before like America stands up and says stop doing this bullshit. Like I have been saying for 20 plus years, if you love somebody and they come to you and say, I'm going to go sign up for the army, tell them, never do that. Because they're paid actors that could end up dead. Because wherever dude, military officers, they're college graduates. They've never had to fend for themselves. They live in a completely programmed, imposed reality. The people that know what the world is really like, they're the enlisted. And then oftentimes they sell out and then just cross over, go to college and become an officer. And then you have a bunch of spoiled brats that have everybody's resources to do whatever they want. They can fly here and fly there and do this and do that on everybody else's dime. But my mom was not privileged enough for more than $55 worth of food stamps a month in 1981. But it's okay to kill in the name of hoo-ha, roo-ha, and whatever God, new-nah they believe in the spirit of their butt stuff. And then they call it, what do they call it? They call it national security. That's what they call it. National security is an oxymoron. And your dads and your uncles and if they, how they're all quiet and everything, and it's so they went off to war. They freaking did terrible things to people that didn't deserve terrible things done with them, because that's how men act. That's just how boys being boys. It's not much different from the little boys that you couldn't keep a. Have you ever come across them? I haven't been around a whole lot of kids, but I've been around enough to know there's that one. He just can't keep his diaper on. He just has to show everybody all that he is, and then he grows up, and then look at all those. It's like it's wonderful of it's all that people are, but where's the self-discipline where you just can contain yourself, and that you know the difference between right place and right time. Truly. Oh, my cousin, she just had her cat Peaches put down, and she has 2 more that are fixing to cross the Rainbow Bridge. I think about that, like in the scene where they're like all the trains at the end of Defending Your Life, but I look at it like on a beach, there's not trains, and all these people are trying to go back to heaven, and I'm not. I'm preempting Mom. I said, Mom, when you go to heaven one day, because we all go to heaven, Mom, and you're a special little extra angel lady on this earth. So one day when you go to heaven, don't go to the light. Go to the right, Mom. Go to the right. Don't go to the light. We're practicing. Don't go to the light, Mom. You're too good to come back to this hell planet where people care more about butt stuff, money, property, and prestige than they care about the people in their own community. If they have enough, food to eat. If they have enough stuff when it's cold, they got stuff to keep them warm. You know, storms pass, but everybody should have a place to go during hard times and rebuild. And the people that have never had to, you know, suffer and know what that's like, it's like I see a big old teeter totter that Earth is, and it's about to swing back around. And so, whoop, why did I didn't remove the heart. Just love them while you got them. Makes my heart so happy to see all these people with their pet rescues, because like my generation, like my brother, he had a dog and stuff, but he just looks at these things like a dog. Like, you know, he don't see the soul and the spirit, and like how that dog helped him through a divorce, and you know, gave him something to love when he was trying to figure out who he was. That dog loved every single version of him. Like I didn't have four dogs. I had, you know, I had four dogs that rescued me. They were my and I lost three in less than a year, and it either it's gonna make me mean because I'm mad about it, or it's just gonna I'm gonna carry all that love that I had. They're all at least 10 years old, so that's, you say that's a good chunk of 30 years that I got to love in a world that doesn't like it when I love it. That's so funny. That's what it is. Is this world does not like it when I love it. And so I'm odd man out. So I had to learn to circumvent and find other things to love. Do it anyway. Just get love out there. You know, I think about, I never saw that whole that whole movie where the dad and the son end up in the concentration camp. What a terrible movie that is, right? But I don't think, I just look at the characters. I don't think of the backstory too much, because it's just more tales as far as I'm concerned. And the dad is trying to make it nicer for the son, so he like makes everything, you know. So that's what us clowns are for. Is we're you know, we know that there's a lot of heartache and harshness and ugliness out in the world just because people are on power trips, you know. And I get that the first knee jerk reaction would be to like go out and fight against that, you know. But I think what I'm finding is I have to be smarter, because I can't be getting arrested and stuff like that. And that would be they would love to put me in a cage. And honestly, I really wouldn't mind being in a cage, because I as long as I have, I mean, these days in prisons they got it easy, and they got TV, you got Cheetos and nacho cheese whiz and like all the TikToks and stuff. Like, it might be institutional, you know, that it's a comfortable for a lot of people. I just have mom to take care of, and I can't. I'm not gonna. I won't leave her. I promised her since I was a 15-year-old little girl that I won't put her in an institution. And gosh darn it, if God doesn't let me, freaking, I'm gonna when I get there. So help me God, if you don't let me. If you don't let me, we're gonna have a problem, God. I've been cursing God my whole life. He don't care, because it just verifies that I believe, how much I believe when I get, like, you know. And I don't see from the point of that bird's eye point of view, and I don't ever want to. Like, I don't ever want to know the future. I just want to know what the potentials of the energy are coming, so I know, okay, well, you're going to have to self-soothe more during this time, you know, so do things that you can do to entertain yourself at home, stuff like that, you know, like, plan ahead, plan accordingly. Mom's been trying to get me to plan accordingly since I was a little girl. How many times she'd have to hear me yell for a towel, because I'd get in the shower and I wouldn't get everything I needed when I got out, and then I'd get out and I wouldn't have clothes to put on. I wouldn't have, so she'd because I get overstimulated. I get so excited about my stuff, I go on automatic pilot. I guess it's more fun to watch in real life. But I am definitely an animated human being. Like, you see me sitting in a chair here talking to myself on the internet. Out in the world, I am a character. It's funny because I haven't been out in a while because my car's. I don't want to. I'm not driving my car because it needs the exhaust, and I don't know what it's tugging on the underside of the engine. So I'm not. I don't want to bounce it up and down so much. So I'm not. I'm staying in. We're not going for rides. It's Capricorn season. I got Capricorn in house 7th and 8th and Cancer, and we just had that Cancer full moon. I have Cancer in house 1 and 2, so I'm all about home anyway. So when things like that happen, I don't get mad anymore. I just look at it as creators saying, you're grounded, stay home. So I'm making some butter now. As soon as I get off this talk, I'm going to go over there and strain it out and put it in the fridge so it gets all set up. And then later on, I'm going to make some caramel with that butter. And then I gotta I'm trying not to order a whole lot of stuff either because I gotta walk to the post office. It's a mile away, and I don't want to. I don't want to get more than I can carry. So I went out the other day and went to 3 places, and it was so nice that there were people that were legitimately happy to see me in each place that I went to. Because that's what the deciding factor. That's what I'm trying to do is like, okay, God, I get what you're trying to. I don't know where you want us. He brought us to Taos, New Mexico in 2025. 5 years ago, we've been here now. And then we found out Mom was born in Cuesta after wondering where she was. I wanted to know my whole life where she was from. I don't know if she didn't care or if she already knew, but she never talked about it with me. I was a child in her mind. But I was not. I was born into this world an old soul, so I could read people and see how things were, and that like I see people's behavior. I see why they act the way that they act, and because I see that, I'm cautious of how I act. I know people don't think I am. I'm a very deliberate human being. I am careful of every word that I say, and every word that I don't say. I'm Scorpio moon, it's in me. And so we came here and we came to this particular place so that, where I could be with my family and not have to worry about moving. And I could just love on my dogs because I knew that they were at the end of their lives. And that's what I got to do. And now because that goal has been accomplished in that chapter that I got already in 2010, 2011. He was the first to go. Benny Tucker. I mean, so that chapter is over. So I'm called to go to take all the love that I put into them and all the life force energy that I put into them, and I'm called to take it out in the world and set up a place where I can take care of more things, and then it could be like a satellite ship, so to speak. Back when I worked at Chevy's, they had satellite restaurants. They had like guinea pig restaurants where they would try this and they would pay all the marketing tools, frat boys, all the San Francisco bros, and it's all nepotism, dude. People think these cities are so huge. They're not that big. All the places that I've ever lived, I have made so many different connections with different circles of people, and it amazes me that these circles of people, like, completely, like, Taos, I've done it. Like, I've known people that have lived here their whole lives over here, they've done this thing. And then this person over here, they lived here their whole lives. And yet these people have never, ever crossed paths. That's because people get stuck in loops. Loops drive me crazy. My loops are broader. Little loops, like that's why I make stickers and I want to make t-shirts and I want to do this and I want to do all these things close to home because my traveling days are over. My feet hurt. I can't get around so much anymore. You know? Like doing all the things that people do to get to other places, it is not fun to me at all. It doesn't look like any kind of fun. I used to not care. I could just sit here, wait for hours here. You know, get up and go on the plane, sit in the plane, wait for hours there. It was just always a matter of going here and doing nothing to go over here and doing nothing. So I could do something over here. And that is silly to me. I don't want nothing to do with that. I want to do productive things. I want to create things. I have visions that I want to create so when I'm dead and gone, but I don't care what people know my face, remember. I don't care about that. I just want the ideas out there that something that I did made the world a better place. And I already did it, honestly, because I've been doing this my whole life. So I've always been making the world a better place for people. I just want to keep doing it as long as I'm on this earth, because if I don't use my energy wisely, it comes out sideways, and then maybe one day I'll be president and want to bomb somebody over there that did fucking nothing. It's just like none of our business. We just want to take their shit. We're just the fraternal order of butt stuff. That's what America's built on. That's what the founding fathers are. That's half of me. My father is related. His mother is related to the founding, one of the founding people that sought the important people, the pasty whites without any soul or pigment. And mom's all the native she's all the Spanish, Mexican, indigenous to America. I'm okay with seeing like no borders, like where people can freely migrate. So I guess what is that? See, I hate titles and labels because you say one word and they clump you into agreeing with everything that the group is about, and that's dumb. Best thing I ever got out of going to AA meetings for freaking 14 years is don't affiliate myself with any organization, any politics, any religion. I'm all about God. I'm all about doing the right thing. Religions are over. It's over. Religions, all these freaking scumbags hogging resources. Like the stuff with the mega churches this holiday season, like how extravagant they were. They're done. And even Robert Phoenix said that maybe it wasn't Robert. No, it wasn't Robert Phoenix. It was Sloan Bella. She's like, I don't think there's gonna be Christmases next year, like Christmas. And I'm okay with Christmases not being a thing. It's stupid. All of our Christmases were spent on a Greyhound bus. It wasn't fun. It was sad. It was depressing. I watched people get left. I watched families get separated because the dad didn't make it back in time. He's hitting on the side of the bus. His Spanish-speaking wife and baby take off. Like, that creates terror, you know? And what people don't get is every time we go boom diddy boom on the earth with the arsenals that the erectile dysfunction perpetuate and put out year after year, every time, like they're doing down there and they're doing over there. It don't matter. They always say I'm a peaceful guy. I'm not going to start it. That they always do because it's power hungry and they're like Pac-Man. They just can't stop. They just got to go. They can't help themselves. That's why they're fucking rapists, because they just can't help themselves. They just have like so much made up wealth and dirt on each other that you know they like, it's the death of them to be terribly, terribly embarrassed. Like, it's the death, like when narcissists are really find out for who they really are, and that's what the world is run on. It's just the empath is just being squashed out. We're like bugs. They're just hitting us with like ants in a micro magnifying glass because they're just creating. And then the earth is changing, so earthquakes, catastrophic events, as it just because it's just how it is. Just when Kalalua cycles end, it's just how it goes. It's just how it is. We just have to accept it. I'm like, why aren't more people just creating environments where we can just survive and have clean water to drink? Because, like, you don't got to worry about tsunamis and stuff like that if your water's dirty. You don't got clean water 3 days, you're dead. That's it. 3 days, no clean water, you're dead. Yet people want to use it all for freaking AI crap. It don't make no sense. Or worse, fake snow at the ski valleys all over. Whatever, it's not for drinking. But the flute in my ear tells me that we are going back to the olden ways. Why can't we have a nice, happy medium between the olden ways and the new ways and the old? Because it's not even the olden ways, it's the ways that were already done and we didn't learn our lesson ways. And now we're going to get God smacked and maybe we'll learn our lesson this time. That's how I look at it. Anyway. Alright, that's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.